In our last talk video, I talked about how it's not a good idea to live for happiness. If you haven't seen that yet, make sure you go check that out. So what is it that we live for? That's what we're going to talk about in this video.
So we believe that there is an absolute good, an absolute best, and an absolute most fulfilling. And for the sake of illustration, we'll say that this absolute is a bullseye on a big target, and our world is just a little point off the target.
Kim and I live to continually try, emphasis on the try, to understand what that bullseye looks like, where it is, and do what we can to move that off point closer to that bullseye, all in a way that embraces people's individual differences and gives grace when the mark is missed.
Sounds a bit abstract, we know. And you're probably wondering, what does that even look like?
Well, just imagine, at one time, slavery used to be a big thing in the US. That's pretty far off the bullseye, right? But Abraham Lincoln had a vision in his head of a better world without slavery. So by abolishing slavery, he moved that off point closer to that bullseye. And that's just one aspect of the bullseye.
We wish we could take this vision we have of this bullseye as a whole and contain it just nicely into a bite-sized video, but it's just much too big for that. So the best that we can do is break it apart into many different videos on our channel, document ourselves living out our beliefs and values, and share the results.
Now, we're aware that we're constantly evolving as people, so we know that our interest and passion in a particular aspect of this bullseye isn't fixed. But for now, at this point in our lives, there are a few aspects of this bullseye more than other aspects that we both have a lot of interest and passion in.
One is marriage and family, and another is mental health.
Who knows? Maybe in 20 years, our passions may transfer over to politics, but it all comes back to this bullseye.
Christians have a word for this bullseye, and we call it heaven.
And we believe that heaven can be a place on earth. And as Christians, we even say to God, "Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven."
And it's fulfilling for us, not just to hope and pray that it will happen, but to actively participate in it as well.
But what about those religious people who hurt others because that's how they've interpreted God's will?
Yes, it's true that an abstract concept like God's will can be interpreted in many different ways by many different people. And so you sometimes get those angry religious people who appear to be doing more harm to the world than good. But we don't see God as an angry and bigoted God whose will is to shame the world.
We look at God like an infinite times better version of someone who would be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, whose will for the world is perfectly loving and good.
So yeah, that's what we live for. It's not easy. We still have our ups and downs. It's not something that we retire from once we're old, but it's a lifelong purpose that is meaningful and fulfilling to us.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see how our lives unfold as we try to live out this purpose, make sure to subscribe to our channel. See you next time.